A few weeks ago, we sat down with one of our favorite Singaporean artists, Tim De Cotta, to talk about R&B, hip-hop, and what he does.
My name is Tim De Cotta. I'm a full-time musician. I'm a bassist and a vocalist. I deal with a lot of R&B music like jazz, hip-hop, soul also. Mostly like roots music, stuff like that has a groove and has like funk to it.
Tim debuted his first solo album in 2017 called The Warrior. It's a collection of 12 songs that are based on the genres he mentioned.
The Warrior is my first ever solo album, so it was the first album that features me solely on vocals and of course the bass guitar, but arranged with a band and strings and percussion and everything. It wasn't my first release though, it was after 3 or 4 other releases with other bands and also featuring on different other artists' albums and stuff. And I finally got down to like doing something of my own.
When we asked Tim who his influences are, he had a lot to say.
This will take 2 hours. Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, Music Soul Child, D'Angelo, Marvin Gaye, James Brown, Stevie Wonder, Common, Bilal, Maxwell, The Roots, J Dilla, Rita Franklin, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Dinah Washington, Louis Armstrong, Nicole, Harry Connick Jr., Jamiroquai, Flying Lotus, Thundercat, Lucky Puppy, Corey Henry, Patrice Rushen, Brothers Johnson, Michael Jackson of course, Jackson 5, Jacksons, Janet Jackson, Chris Cross, Heavy D. Oh my god. So many.
One of Tim's influences, Hiatus Coyote, has a song called Nakamura, which Tim was inspired by for one of his songs. Hiatus Coyote sounds like this. And Art Pure, one of Tim's songs on the album, sounds like this. Here's a clip of Tim explaining why.
I guess it's due to, or the product of like years and years of listening to different stuff, but also like a very present day dissection of what I'm listening to now that defines what I write, like what comes out. I will immediately follow or copy a style of music that I'm listening to now and I want to emulate. But then when I think about how do I make this mine, then that's when the years of listening come into play. And then how do I make it totally mine, and that's when what I want to say comes into play. So that's how I would write music.
In terms of arrangement, Tim writes out his songs first and then works with other people to help it grow.
Arrangement wise, I always see a lot of things in my head and I will always try and map it out like in Ableton or like with whatever samples I have, and then I will get like whoever I see or I feel is the best person to play it to come into a studio and then play it out, and then I will direct them and I tell them, okay, be yourself. For The Warrior, there are certain points that I changed the songs, like Art Pure and Take It Back. They are actually semi-influenced by how we used to perform it live. So I normally have recorded arrangements and I have live arrangements. And when I play live, like being an R&B-ish influenced artist, I like really make it like out there, like gospel choppy, or like put in some trippy chord progressions and go somewhere else, you know, stuff like that. But because of seeing how audiences reacted to certain parts of my live set, then I realized, oh, okay, this part record it, these parts record it. So also realizing what I lack in a live set. Like for example, I need something like an intimate string arrangement here, and okay, that will exist in the album.
One of his songs, Art Pure, stood out to us because of the message behind it. But what does keeping art pure even mean?
Art Pure is a song about keeping like your art pure and keeping it real. And even though like a piece of art or music is created by you and you essentially own it, but it's also about detaching yourself from it and respecting it for what it is, and giving it that respect it deserves, lah. You know, and not letting your ego, your pride, or your personal ambition or ulterior motive get in the way of what that song or that piece of art it was supposed to be. Like, I mean, it's great if your music gets you places, but you shouldn't like abuse your talent. Yeah, the cliche thing that people say that you should always concentrate on the music and serve the music is actually like yeah, it's true.
In Tim's songwriting, shedding light on social issues is an element of R&B and hip-hop that he really embraces.
I was very annoyed that I saw the majority of Singaporeans in my age group or younger not being socially conscious or socially awake even. And it's like there's always someone oppressing someone else or someone who has a bit more power and going and dumbing down other people, which is totally wrong, right? And so I would think like, shouldn't you be conscious or aware of these things even in your own backyard? It's a bit frustrating. Like, why aren't people voicing out? And so when I wrote the album, it was also based on life experience, I guess, where it was always a bit scary to say the right thing or stand up and do something, but somehow sheepishly or at times even fiercely I've done it. Like, so like some regrets lah, but mostly no regrets. And so that's where the album also comes in. Like, I would dare say that what I'm saying is disguised or like embellished by the music. If you take out the music, it's quite abrasive in terms of challenging like why lah. Like, but music helps you do it in a nice, like, palatable way, I guess.
He talks about this in a song called Seasons. The lyrics address how, as a society, we're so used to driving in metal boxes, to glass towers, and coming back to concrete walls, not taking a second to stop and think twice, or even smell the flowers. A spoken part of the song truly depicts how Tim thinks of art. He records Josiah, a good friend and the drummer for his live sets.
Art allows us the opportunity to escape from the mundane. Read a book, sing in the shower, dance to the radio, write a poem. Allow your soul to flourish. Picasso said, art washes away the dust of everyday life from my soul. So take that time to let your soul fly.
Though Tim De Cotta's music is different from his influences over the decades, his works embody elements of R&B and hip-hop, not just the beats, but also its essence of storytelling. As a man who makes art that speaks of things he cares about, to him, music is not just sound, but a vessel to talk about social issues, especially in a Singaporean context.